Hey everyone, welcome back. We all get the same 24 hours in a day. The sun rises for everyone, whether you're rich or poor. So why do some people seem to effortlessly build wealth, while others feel like they're constantly running just to stay in the same place? Here's the secret. It's not luck. It's not some hidden talent. It's habits. Tiny daily decisions that quietly but powerfully shape your entire financial destiny. Today, we're going to break down the real, tangible differences between the habits of the rich and the poor. And more importantly, I'll show you how you can start making the switch today. Let's dive right in. The first major difference is how they view time. Rich people think long-term, while poor people think short-term. The wealthy understand a fundamental law of money. Time multiplies it. Every decision they make is geared towards a payoff years or even decades down the line. They aren't just living for the weekend. They're building for their future freedom. In contrast, many who struggle financially are focused on today's comfort, today's pleasure. That impulsive online purchase, that skipped investment opportunity, it's all a trade. You're trading long-term gain for a fleeting moment of short-term satisfaction. Real wealth creation begins the moment you start thinking in decades, not just days. Next up, and this one is a game changer, rich people pay themselves first while poor people pay everyone else first. Think about it. When the paycheck hits, what's the typical routine? Pay the rent, the bills, the credit card, grab some groceries, and then hope there's something left over to save. The rich flip this script entirely. The very first thing they do is move money into their savings and investment accounts. Then they live on what's left. This single habit instills discipline and builds unstoppable momentum, even if you start with just a small amount. Remember this. Saving isn't what's left after spending, it's what comes before it. Habit number 3. Rich people track their money while poor people avoid it. The wealthy know their numbers inside and out. They know their income, their exact expenses, how their investments are performing, and what their net worth is. They face the financial reality, even when it's uncomfortable. On the other hand, people who are struggling often avoid looking. You hear things like, "I'm too scared to check my bank account," or "I'll sort it out later." But here's the hard truth. Ignorance is incredibly expensive. You cannot control what you do not track. Financial clarity is the first step toward financial control. This leads us to a critical distinction. Rich people buy assets, while poor people buy liabilities. It's a simple concept. An asset is something that puts money into your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out of it. The rich focus on acquiring assets, stocks, real estate, a side business, things that will grow in value or generate income. Poor people, often without realizing it, accumulate liabilities. The latest phone, designer clothes, a fancy car that depreciates the second it leaves the lot. The difference isn't about intelligence, it's about awareness. Before your next big purchase, ask yourself a simple question. In 6 months, will this make me richer or poorer? Now let's talk about debt. Habit number 5 is that rich people use debt strategically, while poor people use it emotionally. The rich borrow to build, and the poor borrow to consume. There's good debt and bad debt. Good debt helps you acquire an asset that will generate more money than the cost of the loan, like a mortgage on a rental property or a loan to expand a business. It creates cash flow. Bad debt, however, just creates stress. It's the credit card debt from a vacation or a car loan for a vehicle you can't really afford. It's used for pleasure and lifestyle inflation. The goal isn't to avoid debt entirely, but to wield it as a tool with a clear, strategic purpose. Here's a big one. Rich people value education, while poor people value entertainment. When the wealthy have free time, what do? They read books, take courses, listen to podcasts, and learn new skills. When people who are financially strapped have free time, what do they often do? They binge watch series, scroll endlessly through social media, and look for an escape. The rich understand that their mind is their single greatest asset. Every new skill you learn compounds your future earning potential. Entertainment gives you a temporary escape. Education gives you a permanent elevation. You just have to choose which one you want more. Habit number 7 is about who you surround yourself with. Rich people network up, while poor people often complain across. You've heard the saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. It's profoundly true. The wealthy actively seek out people who challenge, inspire, and push them to be better. Those who struggle, on the other hand, often get stuck in social circles where complaining is the norm, gossip is the currency, and struggle is normalized. Your environment is either your engine or your anchor. If you truly want to level up, you have to find rooms where you feel like the least successful person. That's where the growth happens. Next, let's discuss risk. Rich people take calculated risks, while poor people avoid all risk. People who struggle financially are terrified of losing money. The rich are terrified of missing opportunities. What's the difference? The rich take calculated risks. They do their research, they make a plan, and then they act. People stuck in a cycle of poverty often take emotional risks, chasing a lottery ticket, jumping on a get-rich-quick scheme, or more commonly, avoiding any change at all because it feels unsafe. You simply cannot grow your wealth if you're always playing defense. At some point, you have to place a smart bet on yourself. This brings us to a timeless principle. Rich people delay gratification, while poor people demand it now. The wealthy understand the incredible power of waiting. They plant seeds today, knowing the real harvest will come later. They're willing to live below their means now for a future of abundance. Many people, however, want the harvest instantly. They need the new phone, the upgraded car, the immediate validation of looking successful. But the truth is simple. Every single time you delay gratification, your future self gets a little richer. And every time you give in to that impulse buy, your future self pays the price. And finally, the 10th habit, rich people have a plan, while poor people have excuses. Every single wealthy person you admire started with a plan. It probably wasn't perfect. It probably changed a dozen times. But it existed. It gave them a direction. People who aren't getting ahead are often waiting for the right time, the perfect job, the big break. The rich don't wait for opportunities. They create them by acting on imperfect plans. Excuses are designed to protect your comfort zone. Plans are designed to build empires. So let's wrap this up. Becoming rich isn't about a lottery win or some stroke of luck. It's about repetition. It's about the small, boring things you do every single day when nobody's watching. You don't have to be born with a silver spoon. You just need to start copying the habits of those who have built wealth. Start today. Track your money. Pay yourself first. Choose a book over a binge watch. Because wealth isn't really a number in your bank account. It's a mindset. And the very moment you start thinking like the rich, you're already halfway there. Thanks so much for watching. If this resonated with you, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe for more videos to help you build a life of freedom. See you in the next one.